So, I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but I watched Tron Ares the other day, and I gotta say I'm very shocked at the response that this movie is getting. Fans of the Tron franchise are trashing on this movie. It got a 2-point-something score on Letterboxd, and Disney is gonna pull the plug on the Tron franchise altogether. And that's so surprising to me. Like, I'm just sitting here wondering, did we watch the same movie? Because to be honest, I walked out of that theater very satisfied. I thought Tron Ares was a good movie. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I have sure seen worse recently. I had a ton of fun with this movie. But because my opinion is so different from what I'm seeing online, I did want to talk about it. I wanted to give my take on why I like this movie, and I wanted to address the main points of criticism that I'm generally seeing on the internet. Now, before we get into any of that, I want to first preface that I am in no way a Tron fan. I knew what the franchise was, but before seeing this movie, I had never seen anything Tron related, meaning I haven't watched the first two movies. So if you are a huge fan of the Tron franchise and you hate this movie, take this video with a grain of salt. I'm just someone who walked into a theater looking to enjoy a movie, and I did. I don't know what's best for this Tron franchise. I'm not aware that apparently this movie completely failed to address past plot lines, so yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm not arguing that this was a good installment within the franchise, I just think it was a pretty good movie. Now, why was it good? For starters, you have to mention the visuals. It has those cool high-tech vibes, the time they spent within the grid, the motorcycles, the weapons, the fight scenes, everything looked really good. Then you have the story, which I thought was okay, it did the job. You got two CEOs, Julian Dillinger and Eve Kim, essentially competing for the future of the world. It's kind of like the space race, but for AI almost. But anyways, Julian was actually able to bring an artificially created soldier from the grid to real life, and his name was Ares. Ares is the future of military combat. He is a force to be reckoned with, and once he's defeated, you can just make another one. He's also completely obedient to his creator, at least for like the first 30 minutes of the movie, because he eventually turns on his creator to save Eve. I thought that's a pretty cool storyline. Maybe it's a little basic, but the emotionless robot turning against his creator to help the other rival, then they have to escape the grid and save the world together. I thought it was a pretty cool premise. Again, nothing in this movie really blew me away or knocked my socks off. I just thought everything was good and entertaining. The highlights of the movie were of course the visuals and the soundtrack. The soundtrack was pretty amazing specifically. So yeah, for me, Tron Ares is the type of movie that I can just put on and enjoy. It's not a cinematic masterpiece, but I think this movie is far better than a lot of other movies that don't nearly get the same amount of backlash. So let's talk about that. Why is this movie getting so much hate? I've come up with two answers. If I missed anything, comment down below. But essentially, I think it boils down to one, this simply just wasn't a good third movie for this trilogy. And then the second reason, Jared Leto. Now, diving into reason number one, this simply wasn't a good end to the trilogy. A trilogy of movies is supposed to tell a big story. Each movie is building up to something, and you're supposed to get a pretty big payoff at the end. Now, each movie within a trilogy is still supposed to feel different enough to be a different movie, but at the same time, it needs to carry that overarching story throughout the body of work. And from what I've heard, Tron Ares does not do much with the last two films. You had Kevin Flynn in there, but that was about it essentially, to my understanding. So, many fans of the Tron franchise ended up disappointed, especially because they didn't follow the events of Legacy more closely. And I understand that. This movie doesn't necessarily feel like the third of a trilogy, it almost feels like a reboot. And for that, I can definitely get where the criticism is coming in. Again, I'm not a Tron fan, so it doesn't bother me. I guess I just don't really know what I'm missing out on. But let me know what you think about reason number one. This is a pretty common complaint that I'm seeing. But now let's talk a bit about reason number two, which is just Jared Leto. I was pretty surprised to see people in comment sections, Twitter threads, and everywhere else on the internet hate on this movie simply because it starred Jared Leto. For a while, I've known that people don't really like him. I assumed he probably did some questionable stuff to gain that reputation, but I never really looked into it. I thought a lot of the hate for Jared Leto honestly came from Morbius, but it goes way further than that. I now know he did some pretty weird stuff on the set of Joker and Suicide Squad 2016. He got super into the method acting, and he was just doing some weird stuff, but that alone I don't think is enough to warrant the level of public hatred that this guy gets. Like, that is weird behavior, don't get me wrong, but there has to be more to the story, and it looks like there is. He's got some pretty serious allegations against him. I'll have to do my own research, but as of right now, I don't know how official these allegations are. And again, I don't know if they're just allegations or if they're real. So yeah, I mean, I don't know Jared Leto. I've seen about 3 movies that he's in, so his reputation did not bother me going into this movie. Now, if all of these allegations prove true and they're as bad as people are saying, then of course I'll think differently of him, but for right now, I just see him as an actor, and I thought he did an okay job as Ares. Some people critique his performance, that it was a little boring, it was hard to get attached to him, he was kind of stiff, and I get that, but at the same time, he was an AI robot, so it does kind of make sense. Sure, he could have played it better, but his performance didn't take anything away from this movie, in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you think about Jared Leto. Also, let me know what you think about Tron Ares as a whole. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, which is much higher than the average. Again, keep in mind, I am not a Tron fan, so I don't know what's best for this franchise, and also I don't literally hate the star of this movie, so that factored into my rating not being that low. And then also, I would say I'm generally higher on movies than I think a lot of people are. If a movie can entertain me for however long it lasts, and I have a fun time, and I enjoy myself, and there's no major glaring problems, I'll typically give that movie a pretty good rating. But yeah, if I'm wrong, let me know why. What do you think about this movie? Is it good? Is it bad? I want to hear your opinions. But that is all I have for this video. I kind of just wanted to share my thoughts there because I think this movie is getting an unusual amount of hate. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what types of videos you want to see next, and I will see you guys in the next video.